What if Mufasa had a will? What if Darth Vader had a trust? And what exactly did Harry Potter's parents leave behind? If you've ever wondered about the legacy lessons hiding inside your favorite movies, welcome to 82 Toothpicks. I'm Ethan. I'm joined by Thad and the Ambers. We believe every movie is an estate planning movie. You just have to know where to look. So grab your popcorn, settle in, and let's talk about the movie.
Welcome back to the podcast, everybody.
Woo!
Another episode of 82 Toothpicks.
Here we are.
Here we are with a full, healthy cast this week.
Happy Friday.
You weren't unhealthy last week.
No.
You were just MIA.
Yeah, I was traveling.
Yeah. You were standing in line in Atlanta.
I, in fact, was not. There was no line in Atlanta. That was wild. TSA was on it.
The media was lying to me then.
Well,
The media.
it seemed like it was based on when you went to the airport.
Really?
Because I was following Reddit threads, subreddits so they would do a new thread for every day.
Really?
And people would go through and post, and they had a whole template that you could use to post in the thread.
Okay.
And so I was tracking how fast wait times were for probably 2 or 3 days before I had to go through there.
By using Reddit?
Mm-hmm.
That's wild.
Because everybody would post, and it was live posting, and so you had like up to the minute data. And mornings were the worst.
Really?
Yeah, pretty consistently. If you were there for a red eye in the morning,
Yeah.
you were in line for 2 hours. Line was out the door.
That stinks.
Of the terminal.
So that's a shot of espresso in a cup of coffee?
That is, but that's not what I said. That's what you need to be up that early.
I was figuring.
Yeah. But when I went through at 5 p.m, easy peasy.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, it was like 3 minutes.
Okay.
It was good.
Gotcha.
But yeah, we're back.
We're back. Full strength.
Here we are.
How trying to think out a word. How did we decide the movie for this week? Because this is one we've been talking about for a long time, and we finally have it on the podcast, right? So where was this your idea, Ethan? Amber?
It's not, I don't know that it was scientific. I think
Really?
it was, look at all the movies we have on our we should watch this for the podcast list.
Okay.
And we just picked some.
It's got the word lawyer in it.
Well,
We work at a law firm.
it's on the list because I like this movie a lot.
Okay. That's good
But
enough.
there wasn't anything scientific about why we picked it for this week.
Okay. This is our third courtroom drama, right?
If you count Liar Liar,
Why wouldn't I?
which we didn't post because the audio was messed up.
All right, that's just in the
In our hearts.
vault.
Yeah, it's in the vault.
Lives on.
We'll release it someday. Hearts.
Lives on.
What's it about? You said this is one of your favorites?
Yeah.
Give us a rundown, Ethan.
It's a story of a defense attorney and a case that he picks up very early in the movie, and how that case sort of becomes all-consuming in every part of his life. And yeah, it's just a really good, it's an intellectual, a little bit of a thriller, a little bit of a mystery. Yeah, it's good.
Okay. Had you guys seen this movie before? Ambers?
Ambers. I have not. No.
I think I have,
Okay.
but it was long enough ago that I didn't know what was going to happen next. So,
Still fresh.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it wasn't like, oh, yeah, I know where this is
It
going.
was ground beef. It wasn't hamburger yet.
Right.
Okay.
Oh my.
This was a movie that I watched on TV a lot, so I hadn't seen the uncut version. Very similar to Shawshank. Like,
Sure.
I had only seen Shawshank a couple of times
Oh.
unedited.
Yeah.
This one too. I don't know that I saw it more than one time unedited before this, but I saw it a bunch on TV.
Did it feel different as an experience?
Well, there were no commercials,
Yeah.
so
That helps.
it does help.
That does help.
But in the like, it's one of those movies that the first time I saw it, I picked it up in the middle.
Yeah.
Right. So like, and then you see different parts of it. Oh, I love this movie. And you watch for an hour and
Sure.
go about your, kind of like Shawshank, right? I don't think this is as good as Shawshank.
No.
But it's one of those comfort, like, I could put this on.
Sure. Why is it called The Lincoln Lawyer?
Okay, thank you. I was going to ask, but I thought that might be dumb.
So I know he has his office in a Lincoln.
Yep.
But is that it?
Yep.
That's the whole point of the name.
Yep.
It's the lawyer who is driven around in a Lincoln.
Correct.
It's his car.
They're not in Lincoln,
Nope.
Nebraska.
Correct.
His name ain't Lincoln.
Right.
You don't look like Abraham Lincoln.
Okay, so
Fourscore.
it's a unique name, I think, given how little impact the Lincoln has on the story. I think
It's based on the books.
Oh, there's a book.
There's a book series.
I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, about this guy and all the cases he picks up?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
By who? Do you know?
Michael Connolly, I think, is the
Okay.
author's name.
Okay, so I guess in the book series, is it more of a like prevalent theme that he's traveling around while he does this?
Well, his office, he doesn't have an office.
That's his
office
shtick,
is
right?
his Lincoln.
Oh, he
right?
doesn't even have like an office?
Right.
Well, that you saw his assistant at the beginning. She was sitting on her bed with a laptop.
Sure.
Right,
Oh, I
so-
didn't even put that together. Yeah.
Got it. Okay, so the point is he's in a mobile office
Yes.
and he always has a Lincoln.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that specific Lincoln, like it's a big boat of a car.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yep.
Okay. So the main character,
Mm-hmm. Mick.
Yes.
Mickey
Matthew McConaughey.
McConaughey.
All right. You're welcome, Thad.
Amber gives a kind of a rundown of him as a character. What do you think of him?
He is.
Is he married?
He was
Divorced.
married.
Divorced.
He was.
He was married.
but he's still dating his ex-wife.
Nope.
No.
They're very friendly, however.
Well, he wins her back at the end of the movie,
Yeah.
right?
Okay.
Because they have a daughter,
Yeah.
and he's right, and that's how you find out that they were together. Is he says he's going to pick his daughter up from her on Saturday or Friday or something,
Right.
But yeah, he at the end of the movie, he makes sure she's in the courtroom.
Yeah.
When he fixes the thing for the guy he got.
All right. I interrupted.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So, for fear of offending my lawyer husband,
Bring it.
I think this character, Mick, is the lawyer that every lawyer sees themselves as. I know what I'm talking about. I can win this. I've got a little bit of swagger and bravado. I'm willing to stand up to the people I don't like, but generally everybody likes me because I'm cool enough for that. He is a very likable character. The people around him seem to be pretty drawn to him. Even the police officers who don't always, and detectives and things like that, who don't always like his tactics, who don't always agree with his definitions of right and wrong, do tend to be on his side for sure by the end.
Sure.
That they've got a little back and forth animosity, but they're also see him as one of the good ones.
Okay.
I think. But that swagger, I can say kind of asshole things and people still like me.
Yeah.
Is I think the character that the average lawyer is like, that's the lawyer I want to be.
Is this pretty common with courtroom lawyers? Like they have to have some bravado, like you said, because they're acting in front of a jury all the time?
I think it's a common thing. The coaching that I was at last week, there's a lot of PI attorneys in the group that I'm in. And I think they would tell you that there's a character that they have to adopt. So when you say acting, yeah, I think that's very much the case. But I think there's a different stereotype for criminal defense attorneys than just your average litigator. Like that's something that's just normal. But I would say that Amber's not wrong. I'm mostly offended by the fact that she said I was average.
Okay.
He's going to make my point here, unfortunately.
Amber, did you like the main character?
Yeah.
kind of in spite of yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of.
That's the thing that I'm trying to get at is that.
Yeah, it was a good character, but like he's doing his job in court, right? And I think that's part of the reason his ex-wife is like they are divorced, is she's like, I don't understand how you can do what you do and feel confident about that, right? But he's very good at what he does.
And that is a thing in the world of lawyers. If you know lots of different kinds of lawyers, rub shoulders with a lot of different kinds of lawyers, obviously we need defense attorneys for the legal system to work, but they're the kind of the ones that everybody looks at, like the one guy in the elevator says to him, "How do you sleep at night?" kind of thing.
Was that the cop?
With
Yeah.
with some of the people you've defended.
Yeah.
And they do kind of have that, like, people look at them like, you must really just be on the side of evil to do the job that you do. There's kind of that, people look at them that way, I think.
It brings up some interesting social philosophies, right? I guess Mick's point is I'm on the side of justice, right? So I'm not saying everybody's right. I'm saying there are things that are happening out there in the system that are corrupt, and he is trying to fix that, right?
Yeah.
So we kind of have this vigilante, like Batman character. That is what I see in
Yeah,
Mick.
he's a little bit.
Like, I'm going to do
that
some
way
things
too.
that are a little gray-ish, but ultimately the goal is just. Is that how you guys see it?
Yeah. I'm waiting for the lawyer to speak. He doesn't want to get into this.
No, that is not true. I am not going to talk about it because I want you guys to talk about it.
Yeah.
Because I'm not going to talk about it from your perspective. I'm going to talk about it from a lawyer's perspective.
Right. And I'm not a lawyer, but I've lived with a lawyer for the last 20 some years. So yeah, we finished the movie and I was like, this whole movie kind of felt like it was living in a gray area. And then we were talking about it and Ethan said something about, for lawyers, if you're looking at the whole thing as your gray area and all you see is like one color because you're zoomed out that far, the lawyer's job is to zoom in and zoom in and zoom in and zoom in and zoom in until you get to the point where the gray actually divides into black and white. And there is a right and wrong in this specific moment, this specific instance. Hey, I got it. And I see you do that about things all the time.
Hey, it depends.
Where everything, like lawyers deal in the gray area and find the dividing line in the middle of the gray. And that is the entire profession, is taking the gray and dividing it into black and white.
Sure. Aaron Brockovich was another lawyer movie that we didn't talk about.
Oh, yeah.
That just came to me. There's not like a courtroom scene though.
There kind of is.
There's an implied like we went to court for this.
Yeah,
but
I
there's
mean,
no like
yeah.
scene that they're in court.
Yeah.
Yeah. This one has a lot of courtroom
Yeah.
scenes.
It does.
Yeah. And this one felt more gray area than Aaron Brockovich, the lawyer. You definitely are like, yeah, she's fighting for the right thing, and she's
Yeah, but she's
Right.
I mean she's breaking and entering. She is
She's
collecting
not a
things.
lawyer.
Okay.
right. Yeah,
There's
and
another question, right?
That's
She
the
works
other
for one,
thing.
though.
She
I'm
works
not
for a
saying
lawyer,
those things are
but
excused because she is or isn't a lawyer. I'm saying that movie wasn't about the lawyer.
no,
Yeah.
that movie was about
That movie was about her and her finding a way to
And
get
she's
justice
more of
for the people
the-
she cared about.
investigator.
Mm-hmm.
His name Floyd.
Frank.
I knew it was an F. So she would be more like his character. The
Digging in to
Digging, I'm
find
gonna
the parking
find all the-
tickets and the.
What do we think of Frank?
I like Frank a lot.
Yeah.
He's
So
a good
sad Frank
character.
is dead.
What'd you like about him?
He just is the matter of fact. Like, this is just how it is. And his relationship with Mick is interesting. Like, just the way Mick steers him, but also there's almost like a deference too, where he says he'll say something and Frank kind of agrees with him, but corrects him at the same time, and it just sort of like redirects, right? And I just liked their the interplay between those two, like in the scene where they're sitting by the bar, they're sitting looking outside the window. that's just a great scene of their kind of captures their relationship so well.
Yeah, he was a good character.
I always liked the investigator character in a movie. I feel like, I like researching things, and I like that I've gone deep enough into this that I know everything there is to know about this thing. And so if you need information, I probably have it. And if I don't have it, I can get it. I feel like I resonate with that type of character a lot.
That's kind of what you do for us here.
Trista said she watches the show, and she said the legal assistant has a much bigger role in the show as that investigator,
yeah.
like finding things. And there's kind of that scene where she finds the news article from 30 years ago and brings it to so she kind of does that in the movie, but Frank's gone. But that character kind of lives on through the assistant.
I haven't seen the show at all.
Okay.
Have you?
No.
Okay. Do you know, does the show cover just the story from this movie, or does it cover more, like, because it's a whole book series?
I have no idea.
Okay. I'd be interested to.
I didn't know it was a show also until I was trying to look up something from this movie on IMDb, and the show kept coming up instead of like I could never actually found the movie's page because everything was about the show.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, there's like 4 seasons though. It's got to be more than just the movie.
you'd think.
Yeah, you'd think.
What do we think of the ex-wife?
The prosecutor?
Yeah.
We didn't really watch her do much in court, right?
Right.
Unless I missed something.
The first time you meet her, she's in court.
Yeah.
And then she has to recuse herself because she's his ex. Right? She has to, because she's going to do the initial appearance for the prosecutor, for the DA's office. And he walks in as the defense counsel, and she has to let go of the case.
Got it.
Is that common?
I mean, you're not allowed to be opposing counsel.
Really?
It'd be a conflict. They've got a kid together.
Okay.
Yeah, courtrooms don't like conflict of interest. I got dismissed from jury duty one time because they looked at my name on the roll call and said, "You any relation to Ethan Heisinger, the lawyer?" I said, "Yes, in fact." And they said, "You may leave." And so I did. That's how I got out of jury duty.
Nice.
And it wasn't even a case that it was just jury duty. Like I wasn't involved at all.
No.
But they didn't want a person who was connected to an attorney who would know the other attorneys
Oh, sure.
on the jury.
Mm-hmm.
You guys let go of Mick's character really quickly.
Yeah.
And I think that's interesting because of the way you described what we talked about last night. You nailed it. You hit it perfectly. I think this movie is so complex.
Okay.
And I don't know if you guys picked that up at all. Did it
In what
feel
way?
complicated to you?
I'm to the point where it's so complicated that I'm overwhelmed and I don't know what to say anymore.
Interesting.
That's where I'm at. Like, there's a lot going on here and I don't know how to unpack it. I feel like it was a very heavy movie to do for the podcast with all the death and everything going on.
Why? Because
Don't
every
love
movie's an
that.
estate planning movie?
No, it was just like, what the guy was getting charged for and stuff. I was like, this is yucky.
Yeah, it was.
Happens though.
Yeah.
Is the story complex or is the character complex?
Yes.
Which one?
Yes.
Huh?
I have a feeling you're going to ask me questions about the character complexity later. But this movie is a lawyer's movie.
Okay.
Because all of the conflict in the movie, right? There's the overarching plot, which is the assault at the beginning, and then the secondary case of the murder, and how are they linked, and right, Mick and his client, and right, all of those things. That's kind of the overarching, but all of the conflict within that plot is tied to the ethics rules for lawyers, and that's such a niche topic. Like, it's just fascinating that they made a whole movie that's entirely tied to how does Mick make choices, and all those choices are rooted in the ethics rules because they have to be,
right,
as an attorney. And it's just such a, like, there's no way you're going to pick it up on it. And not because you're not bright, smart people, but because you're not lawyers who had to take a class and then an exam to be a licensed
they never
attorney.
say anything about the ethics rules
Right.
in this movie.
Well,
It is
they do because they talk about, I mean, they don't cite the number, right? Like
Well-
Rule 1.8E or whatever it is. But they do talk about his ethical requirements to, well, I can't say anything about what's happening in this case to my client from this other case because that's a conflict of interest. And I have attorney-client privilege. And just because I know that the case over here should have turned out differently because of what's happening in this case, doesn't mean I can't do anything with that. Right? And so, like, that one thing has so much complexity because of what the ethics rules are. What's the right thing? Like, what does he do?
yeah.
And I would guess as you watch the movie, you probably thought, well, he obviously has to do this. And I bet it was different for each of you. But I don't want to ruin Thad's game, so I'm not going to go any further than that. Everybody's
I think
thinking.
It's
Yeah.
tough to, yeah.
I definitely see the complexity, but I think like it felt like a very complex movie to me, but it felt like I feel more of the emotionally and morally gray than like the, oh, here's the specific choice and here's the specific legal reason, here's the specific
Because the whole timeline
like-
of this plot is he had to make a choice because of what the ethics rules say about that choice.
right.
He had to, for me,
Yeah.
I see the whole movie as a timeline of bad or good choices based on.
Yeah. And that's the part where I'm saying they don't explain that to non-legal people. So for me, like when he's figured out that the guy he's defending is actually the killer and he's the killer from this old case and he's the killer of his best friend and he still continues to defend him in the courtroom, morally, emotionally, I wanted him to remove himself from that case and let somebody else handle it. You've got too many things
Yeah.
that you're tied to there. You know this guy isn't worth defending and you're going to get him off anyway. And he gets him off in a way that gets him convicted of the other one eventually, right? He's playing the game and moving the chess pieces the whole time. But there's a different legal ethic at play there than the normal average Joe on the street moral calculation there. And I think that's where the complexity and where this is absolutely a movie for lawyers. Like this is a lawyer's movie written for lawyers that the average person can enjoy and appreciate. But it is absolutely written for the lawyers.
Do lawyers have a different set of ethical guidelines?
What do you mean?
Could he be a good lawyer and a bad person?
For sure.
Is he?
No.
Why not?
Because he does the right thing in the end.
Explain more.
I'm trying. So you just talked about, Amber, the idea that the defense lawyer is going to get this guy off even though he knows he did it.
Yeah.
Even within that, there's so much nuance in what happens in the movie that doesn't capture it. That's the outcome.
Right.
But his job as the defense attorney is to make sure that the prosecution proves beyond a reasonable doubt. That's the standard. And if the prosecution cannot prove beyond a reasonable doubt, then that person should not go to jail. That is our assumption. Now, in this movie, we know because the guy has said, I did this thing, right? So we are seeing it from a different perspective, but from the justice system's perspective, it's the prosecution's job to prove it. And all Mick has to do is make them, right? And they don't. They can't prove it. Now, what happens to make it so they can't prove it? He gets an informant and puts him on the stand, but Mick poisoned the well so that the informant's information came from someone else. right?
Right.
Because the girl that he is representing that goes to the rehab unit where the informant is goes and tells the informant what he should say.
Yeah.
Right.
When she's mopping the hallway up there. Yep.
And so, but the prosecution did the same thing. Right. And that's why the judge gets mad and is going to do a directed verdict in favor of the defense, because the prosecution told the informant what to say.
Yeah.
It just so happens that Mick also told the informant what to say. And
Right.
so what's the ethic there? What's the right thing to do? Who broke the rules? Who did the right thing? Who did the wrong thing? Or were they both wrong?
I have no idea.
Mick, as the defense attorney, his job is to make sure the prosecution proves their case beyond a reasonable doubt. The prosecution is about to do something false. They had the informant come into court and make a false statement. And Mick had the informant come into court and make a true statement. Right? Because the informant says true things about that other case.
Okay.
But how did the informant come by that knowledge?
Sure.
See how we're kind of crossing over the line as we go here. Mick used the example earlier in the movie where he's talking to the cop, the detective, after they get off the elevator. He says, I had a case one time where the prosecution had this guy dead to rights. He committed the crime. He should have been convicted. But they got lazy and tried to pin 2 other murders on him that he had nothing to do with. And because I proved that he didn't have anything to do with those 2, he was found not guilty of the 3rd one. Whose fault is that? Is that the defense attorney's fault? Or is it the prosecution for trying to shortcut the justice system and convict somebody of something they didn't do?
Yeah.
Right? So can I be a good lawyer and a bad person? Yeah, I think Minton, the prosecutor in this case, he's trying to convict this guy of something he absolutely did, but he does it the wrong way. He breaks the rules. Is Mick getting a criminal off? Yeah. But he's protecting.
But he does it the right way.
Right.
From a legal perspective.
And then how does he get that information about the previous case into the hands of the district attorney and the investigator? Well, that's the interesting thing, right? So now did he break his ethics rules in favor of his morality? It's just not, it's not simple.
Yeah.
My head hurts.
It's those little exchanges, those little nuances.
That's why you have to go to law school to watch this movie.
That's what makes this movie so good. Thad, you have a game for us.
Yeah, I was going to say. It's time to play the game a little bit.
Game.
All right. This one's going to be fun. So the movie's obviously about a defense attorney. And their job sometimes is to defend things that they may not know are right or wrong. Right? I think there's a better way to say that.
Definitely. Defense attorney's job is to make the prosecution prove their case beyond a reasonable doubt.
Exactly. So in my game, you are each going to play the role of a defense attorney.
Oh, dear.
I'm going to read a statement about something your client may have allegedly done. Your job is to give your best defense for this action. Makes sense?
Oh, man.
So I've got...
It's just this easy. He's going to read like 2 sentences and then you'll have enough information. It'll be
Exactly. So I'm gonna give you each a statement, give you some time to think about it because I don't expect you to just improv this, and then you're going to tell me your defense of this specific scenario.
Am I being real about this?
You are defending your client.
Oh, okay.
Okay. All right. I'm going to give you each your scenario, and then I'll go back to the top and let you make the defense. All right, Ethan, your scenario. Your client.
You don't want to start with Amber and Amber first, so that
they're going to be thinking about theirs while you're making your defense.
Got it.
Okay. All right, Ethan, your client recommends movies and books that they've never actually seen or read. Okay.
What a crime. Terrible.
Amber.
Yeah.
Your client cut a pan of bars into pieces that are so small That taking one feels emotionally confusing.
Then take a bunch.
So we're at my mom's house.
Oh,
Sure.
Oh, wow.
All right.
That's cool.
Amber,
We'll see if she's
Yes.
listening or not.
your client took their shoes off when they boarded the plane.
So my client is me? Like,
Defend why you would do that.
I have done that.
All right.
Okay.
So it should be easy. All right, Ethan. You remember your scenario?
Just read it again.
Your client is recommending movies or books that they've never actually seen or read.
And what am I defending?
Here's the judgment. I think that's wrong. As a prosecutor, I would say they need to stop that.
Oh, so you're the prosecutor
Sure.
for all this. Okay.
So I have to. I'm confused what you want me to prove.
I don't want you to prove anything. I want you to give me a statement that you would make on
Like as to why your client is
if
doing
that
that?
is a just action or not a wrong thing to do.
Asking the lawyer is not a good idea because I need more information.
You don't need any more
I
information.
do.
I gave you the whole scenario.
Okay, so that's the whole scenario.
Yep.
Well, he never said he didn't read them, so he didn't lie to anybody.
So lying is the wrong thing?
Yeah.
Recommending it's fine.
Yeah, sure. I recommend books all the time.
That you haven't read?
Yeah.
Why? How can you
Because-
recommend it if you've never read it?
Word of mouth. Can I talk? Sorry. Can I grab my silent juror?
Maybe I know people who have read it. Maybe I bought it to read it on
Here's
the
that.
recommendation of someone else. Maybe I read the back of the book. Maybe I saw a preview for the movie. Maybe I read reviews of the movie. I can have all kinds of information that doesn't come from firsthand sources.
Sure.
So just because I recommended it without having read or seen it doesn't mean it's the wrong recommendation.
Ambers, is that a good defense?
I think so.
I think so.
Do you two do this too?
Yes.
You recommend things that you've never seen or read.
Only if I know enough about them to actually recommend them, but yes.
I always, if I do that, I add on like, oh, I've heard. That's what I say.
Sure.
Like, oh, I've heard
Yeah.
people talk about that. They say it's good. I don't say, oh, yeah, that's great, because I've never read it or watched the movie. So then you have to be careful about
A
how you say
recommendation
it.
is different than a statement of its quality. I can say you should read this and not be saying this book is the best book I've ever read.
Okay.
Who's
Amber.
the judge? How do we know this passed?
We'll figure it out as we go. Amber, your client cut a pan of bars into pieces so small that taking one feels confusing.
Taking one feels confusing. I think
is funny.
confusion is a subjective
Sure.
emotion, and what might be confusing for the person taking the bars might not be confusing for the person cutting the bars. I also think there's no statement or guarantee about the number of people involved in eating the bars, and so the size of the bars may be dependent on the number of people in the room based on how far you have to make them go.
Okay. Ethan, Amber, is that a good defense?
Yep.
I say eat whatever dessert you want
Or as much of?
or as much of.
Okay, cool. Amber,
Yeah.
defend why it's okay to take your shoes off on an airplane.
Your Honor. Your Honor, my client
Yep.
took their shoes off when they entered this plane. Your Honor, there are no rules or regulations stating my client cannot do this. I feel as though we are being prosecuted because people around my client were angry at the stench. I would like to clarify something. Your Honor, these shoes are brand new. My client has only worn them for 2 days, bought them for her trip to New York City where she will be walking around a lot. These shoes are not old and stinky. The socks that she was wearing as well, washed that morning. Okay? Nothing was stinky. Also, we're on a Boeing 737, okay? A pretty safe, large plane. It's not going down. The only reason you should keep your shoes on is if the plane's going down. Preferably over like the ocean. So if you get stranded on a desert island, you have shoes on. You don't have to take them from someone else.
That already died in the plane crash?
Correct.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So, and I'm not bothering, my client is not bothering anyone by taking their shoes off. If you stuff them under the chair in front of you, it's the same as a carry-on or personal item.
Amber, Ethan, is this a good defense?
I'd like to redirect, Your Honor.
Please.
There is, in fact, a rule that says you must wear shoes on an airplane.
Haven't seen it.
Haven't seen it.
Not
Doesn't
printed in
exist.
big letters on the side of the plane, so I don't know about it.
Is that negligence?
No, it's breaking the rules. Ignorance of the law is no defense, Your Honor.
Can we do out of courtroom amber? Is that an actual rule?
It is.
Where? How do I know that?
Almost every airline requires it.
That you wear your shoes? What if I got sandies on? Does that change things?
You still have to wear them.
What if you're on an international flight and in your little first class box they
Yeah.
give you slippers instead?
Your Honor, my flight is 14 hours long.
Are those shoes?
I have seen these. No, they are not.
I think the airline would say yes, they are.
I think the airline would say yes, they are. So it's not.
Back in the courtroom, my client was not informed.
Ignorance of the law is no defense.
The question is not taking your shoes off. It is having something shoe-like on your feet. They don't want you walking around in your socks.
Your Honor, my client was wearing bluey slippers. Took off their new Hokas and put on bluey slippers. Your Honor, I'm seeking comfort.
All right, next. Ethan.
Oh, we do it again.
Ethan, your client chatted for 20 more minutes while standing in the doorway about to leave your house.
So this is Minnesota.
And or Iowa.
Midwest goodbye.
My client engaged in the classic Midwest goodbye. Oh, what a gambit. Continue.
That's the scenario. Defend that action.
We're not going to go around
we
and let
can.
me
Do you want
think
me to
about
do
this
that?
again.
All right.
No,
cool.
do it on the spot.
All right. Amber, your client used speakerphone in public without headphones.
That's
I'm
terrible.
going to struggle to defend that one.
Other Amber, your client let her boyfriend freeze to death when she could have scooted over on the door.
Okay.
Annika did not understand that joke at all.
Really?
Before her time.
I was gonna say, poor baby. was
Your
not
Honor, am I allowed to
probably
use
alive.
Google?
By all means.
Your Honor, I am using
All right,
Google.
Ethan. You understand the accusation?
The statement was my client stood in the doorway.
Yep.
Inside or outside is irrelevant.
Irrelevant. Nice day out.
And chatted for 20 more minutes
Correct.
before leaving my house.
Stop trying to get more information out of
No,
me.
I'm making sure I said it right.
Okay.
Stop trying to get more information. All right. Your Honor, my client was invited in to start with, so unless the prosecution can establish that they were trespassing, my client had every right to stand in the doorway and chat.
As long as they wanted.
As long as they wanted.
Defense rest.
Defense rests.
Amber's.
Got to prove trespassing.
Is that a good defense?
Gotta prove trespassing.
Your Honor, I was still on Google. Your Honor, I have engaged in the classic Midwest goodbye, so I feel like I cannot speak to this.
Conflict of interest.
Yes.
I had somebody stay at my house for 3 hours one time after Trista had already gone to bed because she didn't want to stay up any later.
That's a little
Oh my
crazy.
goodness.
It was nuts.
It's wild.
The next morning she said, we can't have them over anymore.
That seems fair, actually. I think that's a pretty good defense.
All right. Amber, your client used speakerphone in public without headphones.
Good luck.
Thank you. I'm gonna need it.
Is this the most egregious so far?
No.
Okay.
No, this is a thing that
Shoes off on the airplane is the
I
most
am-
egregious so far.
constantly parenting against in my own home. I think the defense of this is that this is not an action that can be judged without knowing the hearing or communication capacity of the person using the device, and also the situation whether there needed to be more than one person hearing or receiving the message. The circumstances around said communication failure.
Alleged.
You called it a failure?
Communication failure, faux pas, circumstances as defined, as undefined, may change the rightness or wrongness of said action.
Amber, Ethan, is that a good defense?
No.
Why not?
No.
Because she had a better option.
I'm sure I did. But
I can
that
do
was
what
the
I
one
want.
We have conversations in public all the time.
Yeah. Whether the person is present or virtual.
Correct.
Makes no difference.
Why would that affect anything?
Yeah.
Also, no, not a good defense. Stop that, people.
All right, Amber. Boyfriend
Yes.
died.
Your Honor.
Yep.
Your Honor, first I would like to specify that this was not a door.
Okay.
The debris that was floating in the water was a piece of carved wooden paneling from the first class lounge,
Okay.
likely not buoyant enough to serve as something to hold up two people.
Okay.
Correct. Also, physics, Your Honor. Although Jack and Rose could have both, or sorry, my client and her boyfriend could have both fit on the piece of carved wooden paneling from the first class lounge. The weight would have submerged it, and then they would have both been submerged in the freezing water, resulting in hypothermia for them both. Okay?
Amber, Ethan, is that a good defense?
No, I'm not done.
Okay.
Oh,
Your Honor.
Oh, man.
James Cameron. Your Honor, do you know who that
The
is?
director?
Yes.
Okay.
He performed a scientific study
Wow.
and tested this using two people the same size and body weight of my client and her boyfriend, and tried multiple different scenarios to see if they could both fit on this floating piece of paneling from the first class lounge.
Sure.
And it never worked, Your Honor.
Okay. Ethan, Amber, is that a good defense?
I'm convinced.
Also, Your Honor, this is about love and sacrifice.
It would be much less romantic if he hadn't died.
Think of the romance, Your Honor.
You're going to redirect.
Go ahead.
As a bystander to Jack's death, excuse me, as a bystander to her boyfriend's death,
Yes, correct.
the defendant should have, at a minimum, called for help. And because the defendant did not call for help and let her boyfriend die.
Your Honor, redirect. There was no help to be found. It took years for the other ships to get there.
Your Honor. No.
Anyone
not
that
a
could
defense.
help was also dying of hypothermia. Or already dead from hypothermia.
Not a good defense. I don't like it. Good job, Amber.
That's funny.
All right. Ethan,
Oh, again?
do we have time for another round?
That's fine.
Okay.
We can cut if we have to.
Ethan, your client started a slow clap at a sporting event.
Oh, my word.
Amber, your client referred to Sioux Center and Orange City as basically the same town.
Them's fighting words.
Amber, your client ate a coworker's frozen pizza.
Okay.
These are getting specific.
They are getting specific.
Okay.
This is so funny. Okay.
All right, everybody got theirs?
I do not. I was too busy laughing at Amber's.
Your Honor, can I go on Slack?
You may. Sustained. I don't even know if I use that right or not. I don't think so. All right, Ethan. Your client started a slow clap.
Started a slow clap. Okay. The pace at which my client engaged in the clapping is irrelevant. What matters is the behavior of the other individuals, which was not in the control of my client, nor did my client have any expectation that mimicry would occur. Period.
Hard stop.
Amber's, is that a good defense?
Your Honor, I was reading Slack.
We have a juror not paying attention here.
Sorry.
This is funny because he's the lawyer, so I'm sure he can give me 12 reasons why he's right, but I don't like that argument.
That's all that matters. Jury nullification.
Yeah, the jury's useless over here right now.
All right, Amber. Do you want me to read your prompt again? You got this.
Read it again.
All right. Your client referred to Sioux Center and Orange City as basically the same town, end quote.
Quote, unquote.
I got
Where do I wanna
reamed for this
start
one time.
Here. Oh,
You said that one
I
time?
am sure you did.
When you were new here, I'm sure. Yeah. can't be doing that.
I think I said that Sioux Center's summer celebration was basically just like Tulip Fest. Yeah, it is not.
That's a terrible thing to say. So
You're
your
a
client
monster.
Oh,
Your Honor, there is a
your client is Thad now.
long-standing and well-documented history of the successes and failures of both communities in and against one another, in juxtaposition and against one another, that has created a competition between the two communities that, while size and demographics may share some similarities, basically the same thing, correlates on too many categories.
All right, Amber, Ethan, is that a good defense?
Probably not.
I like the part about every town has success and every town has failure.
Sounded very jargony.
It was very jargony.
So I'm going to go with yes.
I like it.
Great. All right, Amber.
Yes, Your Honor.
Your client eats a coworker's frozen pizza.
Your Honor. My client used to have a coworker whose name rhymes with Tosslin. Tosslin was known throughout the office for eating Totina's pizzas. And we can have eyewitness accounts. I have 3 in the room here with me. Your Honor, I would like to read a letter.
Objection. This evidence was not provided to the prosecution prior to this trial.
It was. It's provided. It's right here on my client's phone. This is a letter sent from my client to the other person.
The victim?
The victim.
Yep.
Alleged.
The
Client.
alleged victim.
I'm going to now read my client's letter. Dear Michael Bob, or whatever your middle name is, Oxner. It has come to my attention that a Supreme Totino's pizza has gone missing from the freezer. I regret to inform you that the culprit of this horrid crime is in the building as we speak. It is me. That was my client.
They admitted to it?
I ate your Totino's pizza weeks ago, in fact. I would like to now give a defense statement on my own behalf. I believe the pizza to be Tosslin's. She informed me when she started working remote that I was allowed to take home and eat any food she left in the office. I mistakenly included your Totino's pizza in my raid of the frigid freezer of anything that was left behind by Tosslin. I cannot express to you how deeply sorrowful I am. Thad has informed me that this pizza cost you $1.50, which I will Venmo to your wife as soon as I send this apology letter. Please accept my Venmo payment as a token of my regret. If I could add one more thing, that pizza was actually quite terrible, and I would not recommend that you purchase another one in the future unless you are going for price over taste. Yours sorrowfully, Amber Delight Van Dyke.
Ethan, Amber, is that letter a good defense?
Yep.
I'm amused for sure.
That was sent on the platform Slack on February the 11th at 11:32 a.m.
Yep, there was
some evidence.
There was restitution.
There's restitution.
There was regret. And there was a warning for the future.
Awesome.
It was performed in defense of others.
Correct. Tosslin.
No. You
You
protected
kept
Mike
somebody else from eating a pizza.
his horrible pizza.
Yeah.
Yes.
Great.
Good game, Thad.
Thanks.
That was fun.
That's funny. It's a complicated one. It's hard to talk about.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what to say. That game was really fun, but this movie stressed me out.
Sorry about that.
There's so much emotion. My 2-4's going crazy.
I believe that, actually, on this one.
Did any of you notice any estate planning themes?
Yes.
What were they?
The house that Matthew McConaughey lived in was a present that his dad got from a client that he represented. And then that client gave dad the house. And then dad gave the son the house.
Close.
I'm close.
It's the gun.
I thought they said that was how he got the house.
It's the gun.
Oh.
Because it was an old antique.
You know what? That makes way more sense. Okay, the gun.
But yeah,
was a gift
that's
to his
still
dad
passed
from a
down.
client,
Yeah.
passed down to him.
That's
correct.
a good one.
Yep, that's a good one. That's the one I was going to start with too.
Nice.
There you go.
That was like the one I had.
Yeah, that's a good one.
It's the clearest one for sure.
Yeah. Is there anything with like
all
sharing?
of the legal things in this movie, I found estate planning difficult in this one.
Is there anything with like sharing their daughter? Like she's going back and forth from house to house. Is that an estate planning thing?
Custody
No,
stuff.
it's more family law.
Okay, I didn't think so. But
I mean, anytime we've got people dying, we've got some sort of probate or estate or
And there's lots of death.
something.
yeah. The rich
or-
family, like his client, is very focused on maintaining their legacy and their status and how they appear to the public, and so they're going to kill people for it.
Yeah.
I think there's something around. I don't know how to word this, but something about the mom doing the dirty work for her son. Because he's saying over and over, "I'm not the one who did this." He's not saying it wasn't done. Right?
Yeah, that's true.
But
I didn't do
the
it.
mom is acting in his stead. There's a way to probably word that better, but
So now this is parents planning on behalf of their children.
could be.
Let's hope that Lincoln is in a trust. Am I right?
Probably not.
Oh,
But let's hope his house is in a trust.
yes.
We don't usually put cars in trusts because the cost of changing the title doesn't
yes.
help. Like it's not that it's not worth it because it can depend on the car, but largely you got to pay for another title, and that just doesn't make sense for a lot of people. But the second reason, probably the more important reason, is sometimes when you put vehicles in trusts, the insurance companies don't always know or like insuring trusts in that way.
So
right?
they get cranky
because
about
a
it.
vehicle is out on the road, and so there's theoretically more liability, and so not that they get cranky, but it's a change to the insurance, and then do we have to change premiums, and it's not worth the hassle. So I said this movie was about the ethics rules and attorney ethics, and I think that's true throughout, and I think that's the hook that I related to the most in terms of estate planning and elder law themes. The question of who's the client. Thad, at the beginning of the movie, when he meets with the family attorney and Lewis and his mom, and he tells the mother that he's not going to make her leave, but he can't talk to Lewis about the case if she's there. Yeah. That's because she's not the client.
Right.
Which
That's why I didn't take money from her either.
Right.
Yeah.
Breaks the attorney-client privilege to have someone else in the room.
Even another attorney?
No, because the other attorney is also has attorney-client privilege. Yeah. We deal with that with our clients literally all the time. Yeah. I had someone ask me this week, how come my son couldn't come to this meeting with me?
Dad said so.
Dad doesn't like him.
Right? And it's because when we are talking to you about your estate plan, I have an ethical responsibility to you as the client, and I can't allow someone else's influence to affect what you decide to do with your estate planning. Another common thing that you run into, Thad, in your initial consults is who is the client? And this is a really common thing in elder law, and Amber, as you're learning some of those elder law principles, you're going to continue to run into this question of who do we represent? Because we primarily talk to other people other than the senior that needs help, right? And that's because usually they're in a nursing home or incapacitated at least in some way and can't make their own decisions. And so we're talking to their agent under a power of attorney. But do we represent the agent or do we represent the incapacitated person? And the right answer is we represent the incapacitated person, because that the guy we're talking to, or the lady we're talking to, is representative of them, right? As their agent. So they're not coming to us and saying, help me do my job as power of attorney. They're coming to us and saying, help me do the best I can for my parent or for my spouse.
Right.
And so when we do that work, who do we represent? And so this movie is full of questions related to who's the client and what are the duties owed by the lawyer to the client. Those are questions we run into constantly as an elder law and estate planning firm. So those are the big ones that I related to as far as the work that we do. It's not necessarily about estate planning. That particular one isn't, but it definitely relates directly to our work here. A couple other things that I wrote down. Mr. Green, that made me laugh. At the beginning of the movie when he says he's waiting for a witness named Mr. Green because the guy hasn't paid his bill yet.
Yeah.
That made me chuckle. It's totally
The biker gang.
Totally sketchy, but
Yeah.
Made me chuckle. Loyalty. So do we represent the kids? Who are the parents loyal to? Who are the kids loyal to? Right, we do a lot of asset protection conversations here. And so when we talk to our clients about that, they're asking, well, what if I just give everything to my kids? And the answer is, do you trust your kids? And then the next question is, do you trust your kids' creditors? Who are your kids loyal to versus who do they have obligations to, right? Those are things that matter a lot.
Yep.
And then we talk about creditor protection for the kids and creditor protection for mom and dad. And right, who are we? Loyalty is one thing and duty is different. Obligation is different. And so when we do trust planning or when we do Medicaid planning, the idea of what's required versus who can we trust when we need help. Those are very real conversations that we have. And so Frank is loyal to Mick, and I forget the mom's name, but Lewis, his mother, is loyal to him, even to the point of going on trial or going on the stand and testifying about the assault that was committed against her. So, yeah, some interesting themes, but really, I think the moment that I said, "Ooh, estate planning movie," was the one Amber said, which is the gun that he got from his dad.
Yep. Cool.
Good stuff.
We ready to rate this one?
Let's do it.
Okay.
I'm ready.
Amber,
I can
us
start.
off.
1, 2, 3, 1.
Okay.
Laugh. I laughed a couple times.
Okay.
Not a whole lot because most of the time I was going, what is going on? So there wasn't a lot of time to laugh.
I imagine it will happen more, though not a lot. It's not a comedy. If you watch it again, you'll
There's some funny things.
You'll be less distracted by the drama and the intensity.
Yeah.
The second time.
I chuckled a couple times.
Yep.
Cry is a 2. I did not actually shed tears, but there's a lot of like emotional stuff going on. Lots of heavy, deep things. So Cry is a 2. Think is a 3. I said this once, I'll say it again. My brain was so confused during this whole movie. It's good, and I gave it 1 for watch again. So like I'll watch it again, but there's a lot to think and digest. And then things kept happening and the plot kept thickening. And then everything was cross-referencing and
Nice. 7.
Okay.
Yes.
There we go. Amber?
I think I'm right there too. There are definitely like lines that I laughed at or things that I really enjoy the biker gang that surrounds his car and makes him pull over as a way of seeing him in his office. And, like there are just some funny things, funny one-liners, the type of one-liners you'd expect from a Matthew McConaughey movie kind of thing. But it wasn't like really, it's not a comedy by any means. So we'll give that a 1. Cry, I probably got the closest when Frank died. But the whole thing is, there's some hard moments through there, so I'd give that a 2. And I think there's a lot to unpack here. So yeah, I would give Think a 3, and I would watch it again. So
All right.
nice.
Ed, you go next.
Sure. I'm right there. I did think it was kind of funny though. I kind of like the darker humor. So I'll go 2 for think or for laugh. Crime out of 2 on that one too. There's some sad moments. There's a death. There is loss of friend. There's all kinds of dramatic points in the drama.
It is fraught.
Yeah, fraught. Give me a 3 for Think. For all the reasons you guys already touched on. I don't know if I'd watch this one again though.
That's interesting.
It doesn't make it bad, but anytime there's a movie with a twist, once I know the twist, it kind of ruins the charm of the movie.
Yeah.
I don't know if I could watch this one again and go, oh, it feels like I'm watching it again for the first time.
I'm intrigued.
So
because I watched this movie and to me this is an entirely character driven movie.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like the whole movie is about Mick Haller.
Huh?
It's not about the plot isn't the point. His character over the course of the movie is the point.
Yeah, I didn't find him particularly likable though.
So that's what makes him compelling.
I'm saying,
I'm just saying. I'm saying I saw it as a very character heavy movie, so I thought you would like it better than that in terms of the watch again, right?
Yeah,
it's not bad, good or bad. It just is not what I expected.
Okay. Yeah. So I'm still at a 7.
Yeah,
it's good.
Cool.
Good, not great.
All right,
you're up.
Yeah, I think it's going to get a 7 for me too.
Okay.
I'm going to give it the exact same rating that the Ambers did.
So 1,
1, 2, 3, 1,
2, 3, 1. So we all gave it a 7.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's the second time we got a.
Yeah, is that 2 weeks in a row?
I think so.
No,
No,
that's
we had Castaway
No, Castaway was in there.
in the middle. Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
Interesting.
Yeah. Maybe because I'd seen it several times before. I didn't have quite as much of the emotional it's just 1, 2, 3, 1.
Yeah.
Cool.
Alrighty.
What do we have next week?
Ocean's 11.
That's on my list to watch, like just on my own.
Hey,
That's exciting.
taking care of that one for you then.
Hey, thanks.
Cool. All right.
We'll see you next week, guys.
All
Thanks,
right.
everybody.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to 82 Toothpicks, a podcast from the Huizinga Law Firm. This episode featured your hosts, Ethan, Thad, and the Ambers breaking down today's movie and the estate planning lessons hiding inside it. If you enjoyed the show, check out my It's Not Too Late book series for practical insights on protecting your family and your legacy. You can also visit huizingalaw.com for more resources and past episodes of the podcast. Be sure to follow the show wherever you get your podcasts so you never miss an episode. And if you're watching on YouTube, don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring the bell. And remember, every movie is an estate planning movie.